Renaissance is a time period of new discoveries, new ideas, and progress to push Western civilization into the modern world from the 14th century to the 16th century. Taking place in the majority of Italy, mainly Florence, this movement of new thoughts quickly spread into Europe, causing a rebirth of culture and academia from the Greeks and Romans. To best define this time period would be through art. Paintings and sculptures created by the many masters, such as Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo, have lived on through centuries of history, giving historians insight on what occurred throughout the Renaissance. Art is the best subject to define the Renaissance because it has been incredibly preserved, has provided the foundations for art education today, and without the masters, we as a society would not have much to look back on to understand how many techniques were in place. Art in the Renaissance was much different than how we see art today. Today we have many genres within the subject, but back then most artists recreated biblical scenes with only oil paints and canvas. However, the Renaissance is best defined through the artists themselves, specifically Michelangelo, who defied the norms through both sculpture and painting. Many consider him to be the greatest artist of the Renaissance period, along with Da Vinci, Botticelli, Raphael, etc. What makes him an essential part of the Renaissance period were his astounding uses of realism and his insight on biblical scenes, and that much of his art takes on a very psychological aspect at such an early point in time, causing the public to think about art just as deeply as we do today, but more on a religious level. Michelangelo began his career at 21, finding himself in Rome. He was asked to create one of his most famous works, the Pieta. If this is an unfamiliar name, the Pieta is a sculpture of Mary Magdalene holding Jesus in her arms. Notes to be made when viewing the sculpture are how proportionate and real the actual sculpture looks, the specific details of both figures, the clothing drapes, how starved Christ looks, etc. Michelangelo's beliefs about art were that art was inner inspiration from culture. As his life continued, Michelangelo created many paintings and sculptures such as the Sistine Chapel ceiling, David, and numerous architectural projects. Now, as for how Michelangelo defines the Renaissance, Michelangelo took pristine care of his work, as they have lasted almost 600 years in the same places. Due to this, Michelangelo's ingenuity has provided several, if not more, artists a background on the foundations of art. He has given artistic society today views on how to evoke emotion into art itself, as well as initially providing how one should or could approach realism. In conclusion, the Renaissance was a period of immense creativity and celebration of human skills, which Michelangelo thoroughly exemplifies as a renowned painter, sculptor, and architect. He used his many talents to create works of art that have lasted century after century, providing future generations with more insight, not only into the world of art and realism, but into the time period he lived in. A time period where spirituality was sacred, where expression was maximized at various levels, and a time period where accessing how to evoke emotion into the mind was key to expression itself.